Hey everybody, welcome to Wow Mom Cooking for 2012. We are now being brought to you by PMLBmedia.com. Log on to their site to find out all kinds of things about hosting your own web podcast, buying your own domain, and all kinds of other information. They bring you some great programs like Fat Man and Little Boy Show and Pound for Pound Sports Talk. You'll find all kinds of information about them, and they are awesome. Today, we are going to be making finger foods. It's football season, Super Bowl's coming up soon, so what we're gonna be making today is some buffalo chicken bites and some lobster cream cheese balls. Delicious, you're gonna love it. Grab your pens, your papers, and your aprons, and let's get cooking with Wow. Okay, we are ready to make our buffalo wing bites. We're gonna start by making a little bit of seasoning that we're gonna put on those after we cook them. So let's start with that. We are going to do about 4 tablespoons of each of these. We've got some granulated garlic. We're gonna use some granulated onion. Don't have to be exact, because this is just going to be something we sprinkle on top after they're cooked. Okay, and we're also going to use one of my favorites, some fresh ground peppercorn. There we go. And we are just going to stir this up a little bit. And as they come out of the deep fry, we're gonna sprinkle them with this before we put the Frank's and a little extra hot sauce wing sauce on there. So we've got this, we're gonna set it aside. The next thing we're gonna do is cut up our chicken. We've got some beautiful chicken breasts. Got these fresh from the butcher. It was cheaper to get them out of the butcher case than it was to get these from the pre-packaged things that you find in your meat department. These were $1.99 a pound. Look at this beautiful, huge chicken breast. We need pieces anyway for today, so this is perfect. What we're gonna do is trim off all this excess fat, because we don't need any of that. And then we are going to cut these into small, kind of bite-sized pieces is what we want. So you can see we've got most of the fat off, and then we're going to cut this so that we can get some cubes or bite-sized pieces here. You can kind of see we've got about like this. It's about 1 inch thick maybe, so we probably want to get about 1-inch squares. It's really simple, and we've got our bowl here to put these in as we cut them so that we can have somewhere clean to keep everything, and we'll keep just our cutting board dirty. We'll do that for this whole thing. I got about almost 5 pounds of chicken breast. We're gonna have a lot of people. We're gonna use this for a New Year's celebration. And so we wanna make sure everybody gets plenty to eat. And even though they're small pieces, we wanna make sure that you feel like you've eaten something and that you don't feel like you're still hungry when you're done. So we're gonna cut all of this up. And then I'm going to show you the hot sauce that is on my website also. You can find the recipe at wowmom.com or wowmom.tv. Look under how to make it. So we'll finish this up, we'll cut all this chicken up, and then I'll show you the next step. We've got our chicken cut up, and now what we're going to do is we are going to put this in some cornstarch with some club soda. That is going to make it extremely crispy, delicious, and just so good you have no idea. So we're going to get this cornstarch open. Maybe. There we go. We are going to put 2 cups of cornstarch into this big bowl, and we're also going to add to this 1 3/4 cups of the club soda. Now, you've probably seen people do this for things like French fries or sweet potato fries. It works just as good for something like some wings or some little chicken bites. Okay. It's kind of messy cornstarch. It feels funny. It's kind of different, but it's really kind of cool. So there's our 2 cups of cornstarch. Let me grab my whisk. I've already measured out 1 3/4 cups of our club soda. And what we're gonna do is just mix this here together with our whisk. It's gonna bubble up, and it's gonna make kind of like a little paste. What we're gonna do with this is we're gonna dip each piece of chicken in here before we fry it. It's kind of like what your egg batter would be, and then you dip it into your breadcrumbs. We're gonna use cornstarch this time. And you're gonna be amazed at how awesome this comes out. Now we've got our oil heating. We wanna get it up to about 325. We don't wanna get it any higher than that because we don't want the oil to scorch and burn and taste terrible. We just want it to be nice and hot so that we can be sure we get a good crispy, hearty fry on this thing. We want a crunchy outside, but we want it to cook all the way through. Now this looks like it's a little bit too runny. Not a problem. We're gonna add a little bit more cornstarch. It's hard to measure it, so it's not a problem if you have to just add some more or add a little bit more club soda, whichever you need to do. I'll show you what it should look like here in just a second. Just about right. Now it feels a little bit thicker. You can kind of feel when you stir through this that it's a little bit more like a paste feeling than a liquid. It's not quite a whole paste, but it does feel more like paste than it does water. So we've got this all ready. Make sure it's all mixed. We're gonna move this over here so you can see the oil. We're gonna use our skillet again this week because it's so convenient, it's so nice, it does everything, keeps everything evenly heated, and it's beautiful. So it looks like it's just about to temperature. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a piece of chicken in here for you so you can see what it looks like. We're gonna run this chicken through this cornstarch mix, let it drip off, and then drop it right in. Perfect, that's the sound you wanna hear. It's bubbling, means it's cooking. It's perfect. Now with these little pieces, you don't have to use as much oil either because you just want to make sure they're covered up. Throw a whole bunch in here and get it going really good. Don't be afraid to use your hands. If you use your hands on things, you know everything's coated, you know everything's covered, you know you're going to end up with that great yummy taste. Now we're going to cook these 2 different times. So we don't have to make sure they're completely cooked through right now. We just want to make sure they're definitely golden brown and that they have at least started to cook through. Because when we take these out, we're going to put these on a wire rack. We're going to let them cool. Before they cool though, we're going to put our little dry rub mix that we made on them. Then we're going to put some of that hot sauce on there that we talked about and put them back in the oven. So let's get some more of these in here. It's gonna take a few minutes for these to brown up too. Probably, I'm gonna guess about 3 or 4 minutes depending on the size that you have them. Some of the big ones might take a little longer. Some of the smaller ones might be quicker. Just make sure you don't overload your pot or your pan because you don't want to cool off the oil. This is looking just about perfect. It's kind of fun to play with your hands too. Get this in here, you feel like you really accomplished something when you're finished. All right. We've got room for a few more pieces, so I'm going to go ahead and add them. All right, these are going to need some time to cook up. So we're going to come back and show you once they're golden brown, show you the kind of rack to put them on so that you can cool them, and show you how to get all that good seasoning on top of them so they taste yummy too. And so we will be back with you in just a minute. Make sure you stir these around a little bit so they don't stick to the bottom when you first put them in, but we've got these things just about ready. Let me show you one. I'm going to pull them out here in just a minute. This is golden brown, looks delicious. I can feel that it's crispy already. So they look just about ready. I'm gonna start pulling a few of these out. Probably just the little ones. Leave the rest of them in here for last. We'll put them onto our wire rack, and then we're gonna put a little bit of seasoning on them like we talked about. And then we'll drop the rest of them in here to get them nice and crispy too. Go ahead and season a little bit as we go. We want it to stick while they're still a little bit oily. And we're putting them on a wire rack because what we don't want is to take them out of here after all this effort and all this making them so beautiful and crispy and yummy and delicious. And we don't want to put them on a paper towel and have them get soggy, because that's what happens if you use a paper towel. Paper towels are good if you don't have any other option, but if you can find yourself a little rack of some kind, even just take your roasting rack out of your roast pan, anything will work. Get them all out of here. These look so good. They're just about perfect. There, whoop, we lost one. Well, the dog's gonna like that one. We're just about done getting them out of here. We're gonna put some of this nice dry rub on here, put the rest of them in the pot to cook, and then we'll come back. So let's get them. There we go. Got them all seasoned up, and now we're ready to put the rest of these in here to cook just like those ones did. Those are beautiful. They are just perfect, and this is gonna be great. You guys are gonna love this recipe. Here we go. Hear that sizzle? It's what we want. Plenty of room for all this chicken that we have left. We're gonna do this to all 5 pounds. And then we'll pop them in the oven together all at once. Okay, that batch is ready. We'll be back in just a couple minutes to show you what to do for the next step after you've taken them out and they've cooled and they have that seasoning on them. So we'll be right back. Here we have a small batch of our buffalo chicken bites. This is the hot sauce that is on the website on the how to make it. It is Frank's Red Hot Sauce. It's just a bottle of the regular buffalo. It's got a couple tablespoons of butter in it, and it also has a couple of crushed cloves of garlic in here. Makes it just a little bit better, gives it that wow that we need for the Wow Mom cooking show. So we're gonna put some hot sauce on these. We're gonna pop them in the oven just to warm them up, because by the time you get all those cooked, they may not be warm. So you can do this a little bit at a time, or you can do a lot at a time. I'm gonna put just a touch on here. We're gonna warm them all up, and then we're gonna serve them with our blue cheese dipping sauce. That recipe is on the website too. It is delicious. Once these are all done, we're gonna start on our cream cheese lobster balls. They are delicious too, and we're gonna go to those next. So here we go, we got a little bit of sauce on here. We'll pop these in the oven for just a couple minutes at about 425 just to make them warm. Then we'll serve them and they will be delicious. Ready? We're going on to our cream cheese lobster balls. Our buffalo chicken bites are all done and warm in the oven, waiting for us to get these delicious cream cheese lobster balls going. So what we have here is I've got 3 packages of cream cheese. They're still cold, but they are a little bit soft. We need that to be cold when we put these together. We also have some green onions all chopped up. They're nice and tiny. We're gonna put those in there. We're gonna put 5 pieces of bacon, finely chopped. And we are also going to add a bunch of dill. It's all chopped up real fine. Remember on the dill, it's okay to use the stem. The stem is soft and it's very fragrant and tastes very good. What we still have to chop up though is our star ingredient. We have right here 2 lobster claws fresh from our butcher. She was great. Told me what to do with them, said they're already pre-cooked. So doing something like these cream cheese balls is wonderful for these. They're already cooked and all we have to do with the cream cheese balls is we're gonna fry them up just a little bit. So these are already scored, as you can see. So we should be able to just break them open. Ready? Let's try that again. Here we go. You can hear it crack, that's a good sign. Oh, here we go. Look at that beautiful lobster claw. Now, this piece might be a little more challenging. There we go. See how much of this we can get out. It's usually better if you break this off. Try to push it through a little bit. There we go. That looks beautiful. Ooh, it smells so good. I love lobster. I'm not a huge seafood fan, but lobster, crabs, things like that, I am a huge fan of. And this is gonna make these little cream cheese balls so much better. It's a special treat. Now, you can make these without putting lobster in them, definitely. You can do just the bacon, fry them up for something real quick, and make them just a good little side dish if you're having a couple people over. No problem. We're just doing this because it's a special occasion, and we definitely, oh, look how easy that one was. We definitely want to make it seem like it's special. See how much I can get out of this one. See if I can get it whole. You can see the whole claw. There we go. That is beautiful. Look at that. Love it. Okay, there's a little bit more here. And then we're going to chop it up and put this into our cream cheese mix. Okay, making sure we have no shells. Still kind of looks like the shell, but it's pretty. It's tasty, and we're going to eat it. Okay, we've got a little bit to take out right here. Perfect. It's all good. Make sure we've got all that cartilage out of here from both claws. Perfect. So what we're gonna do is shred this up inside of here, and then we're gonna mix this together. We're gonna use our electric mixer today because what we want it to do is be all blended and incorporated. So as soon as I get this in here, we're gonna move on to our blender. Our mixer, not our blender, sorry. Blender might make it kind of like a shake instead of a yummy appetizer. Doing this with your hands is a really good idea because of things like this. Found this little piece left in there that we don't want to have into any of our balls. It's going to be delicious. Okay, let me throw these away. Grab my blender. My mixer. Thank you, producer. I have problems sometimes. He notices. So here we go. Got my mixer. We just want to put this all together. We don't want to over mix. And I know it's a little tough because our cream cheese isn't real soft. It's just kind of cold. And that's okay. You can use this just to smash it all together and then blend it again. Mix it again. There, we've got one stubborn cream cheese brick that doesn't want to cooperate, but we're gonna make it. There we go. Now, if you guys could smell this, you would want to eat it just like it is. I'm telling you, it's delicious. Now what we need to do is scrape this all together, get it into just a nice shape. We're going to scoop it out with a small, very small ice cream scooper or cookie dough scooper, and then we're going to drop it in some breadcrumbs and fry it. So I'm going to get all that ready, get our oil back up here and heated back up, and we're going to move on to our next step. Okay, so our buffaloed little chicken nuggets are all done. They're in the oven, they're staying warm. We've got our oil very, very hot, which is what we definitely need. And we're gonna start making our little balls of the cream cheese in the panko crumbs. So here we go. We're gonna start with one, just to make sure that oil is hot enough. This oil needs to be super, super hot because all we want it to do is brown up those panko crumbs. We don't want it to actually cook the cream cheese inside. So let's make sure we've got a nice coating on here. Kind of pat them together a little bit. And we're gonna do this with a little basket. And hopefully, there we go, it's nice and hot. Should take just a minute to cook on this side. Then we'll flip it over in this little basket, pull it out, and it should be delicious. I can smell it. It smells like it's cooking. It's getting brown. Yes, it is. There we go. Perfect. You can kind of see it's already browned on that side. That's all we want, is just to brown up those little breadcrumbs. right, and we're just about good. There we go. We're gonna take this out, put it on a paper towel to cool, and we're gonna do the rest of these, and I'll show you what it looks like when they're all done. We have our last few cream cheese balls in our oil. One thing you gotta make sure of is your oil stays hot. We had a little trouble. Some of our little balls fell apart a little bit. We got them out no problem. We put them back into the breadcrumbs, back into the oil, and they turned out just perfect. This is our last one going in right now. We're gonna flip the ones over that are in here and get those into the basket in just a minute. You can see this is what they should look like when they're all done. They're beautiful, they're a little bit firm, they're still soft inside. They're nice and warm, nice and yummy. Once we get these out, we're gonna plate everything up together. We're gonna show you what it looks like with all the different sauces and how you should serve it at your party for a football game or for New Year's or for a birthday or whatever you like. So I'm gonna finish these ones up and I'll be back with you in a minute. Here's our beautiful platter. It is ready for my New Year's party, which is just about coming up. We've got our buffalo chicken bites here. We've got our beautiful cream cheese lobster balls here. This is the delicious dip for the lobster balls. This has sour cream, dill, a little bit of chives, and it also has some lemongrass in it. Gives it a great flavor. I'll post this recipe on the website too. That one's not up there. This right here is the delicious blue cheese dressing dip. That recipe is already up. You can find that on there. This is up as wow wings. You can use regular wings or you can use the pieces like we did. We're gonna give it a taste because you should always taste what you're gonna serve your guests, right? Even if we're cheating a little bit and they don't get to have any yet, it's okay. We're gonna try some of this dip on here. We're gonna get ourselves a little piece of a wing and try some of this dip too. All right, we'll try the chicken first. I love blue cheese, I love hot wings, and I know these are gonna be great. Mmm. Perfect flavor, perfect seasoning. They're not too hot. They just have that great flavor. And that blue cheese just cools them right off for those of you who just don't like hot at all. Perfect. Now, this lobster ball, I am so excited to try this. Let's see how we do. I can tell it's crunchy already, just cutting through it. That is fabulous. Let me tell you, I'm gonna eat this whole thing before everybody gets here. But I do wanna say, thank you for hanging with me on Wow Mom Cooking again today. It's gonna be a great 2012, and until I see you next time, keep cooking with Wow. Salute.